Greetings and welcome, dear viewers. You are on Cameroon television. Here in the studio, I have some people from Fida, Cameroon, the International Federation of Women Lawyers. When we get back, we will be able to know why they are here and who they are. Welcome back, viewers. You're still on Cameroon television. Right here in the studio, I have some people from Fida, the International Federation of Women Lawyers. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Valerie.
So right here we have Barrister Amon Gladys, Barrister Alice Leonga, and Barrister Mary Ann Lange. You're welcome to Cameroon television.
Thank you.
So could you tell us and the viewers a little more about Fida Cameroon and its objectives? Madam Mary Ann Lange, could you take us through?
Thank you, Valerie. Fida Cameroon started in 1993. It is an association of women lawyers, and it has as a main objectives, among other objectives, to enhance and protect the status and welfare of women and girls.
Okay. Thank you very much. So you're out on a campaign now. You have an objective now, which is making violence against women and girls history in the southwest and northwest regions of Cameroon. So what brought about this objective into Fida's, your calendar? What brought about this particular activity? Madam Marianne, could you take us through?
Yeah, thank you, Valerie, once more. Fida's interest in ending violence against women and girls arise from the discrimination we as lawyers have observed that the women folk and the girls have in the society, from their cultural backgrounds, from religious background, and from the activity, the male chauvinism states. They make the women to have a second status, and so they are discriminated against in many aspects of their lives. And this aspect of discrimination bring violence in some cases to women. So women are exposed, women and girls and children are exposed to violence because of this vulnerable status given to them by the nature of the society.
Okay. Barrister Alice, our viewers are watching us right now, and some of them might be wondering, what is violence? So could you help us tell our viewers exactly what violence is?
Yes, Valerie. Violence is an intentional use of physical force or power. This power here, we mean an urge, not physical power, an urge over somebody. The force or power can be threatened or actual against someone, another person, against a group or a community, intended to cause pain, hurt, and even kill. Yes, and there are we have a number of forms of violence, which include physical violence, the use of power, that's assault. We equally have psychological or emotional violence. That one affects the mind of the person. We equally have sexual violence, that's harassment, rape, and all of that. We also have domestic violence. Domestic violence is violence in the homes against people living in the same house, amongst people living in the same house, family members. Yes, and we have what we call cyber violence. That's from the internet. Yes, it's related with internet activities, and as we say, women are more fragile, they are vulnerable, and such violence, and that is why we are here,
Okay.
to talk against the violence on women and the girl child.
So, Barrister Alice, could you tell us a little bit about how violence affects them, the consequences of violence on women and girls when they are impacted with violence? What is their reaction? What is made out of women and girls after they've encountered violence?
Yes, when victims, we have victims of violence.
Okay.
As women, at times you have trauma. They are traumatized, and it causes them to shy away from the public.
Okay.
We equally have diseases. We know some of these sexually transmitted diseases, such as AIDS, amongst others.
Okay.
Yes, there are so many consequences. Some even arise to death.
Okay.
Yes, people have died as a result of violence. Yes.
But to add to what Barrister Alice has just said, because of this, the survivors of violence, they are traumatized. They are really traumatized when they encounter violence. They cannot behave well in the society. They always feel ashamed that people, so they always have that inferiority complex. You know, that they cannot live like normal persons.
Okay. So what are some of the laws put in place, especially as women lawyers who are fighting against violence? What are some of the laws you use to, make sure that the perpetrators of this violence are actually put to order and, they actually pay for their crimes? What are some of the laws that help you? Laws in Cameroon that help you through it? Are there some specific laws that you could use to combat these crimes?
Yes.
We'll start with our international laws.
Okay.
Our principal law is the Constitution of Cameroon.
Okay.
In the preamble of our Constitution, it is clearly spelled out that the rights of the women, emphasizes the women, shall be protected, and that these women have rights. We equally have our penal code. The penal code of the country spells out areas to fight against violence. We have certain sections of our law punishing and condemning violence against women.
So I think some viewers out there maybe who have been victims of violence, or those who are just getting into the idea, might want to know, some particular punishments or particular, that perpetrators go through. Do they have fines? Are they jailed for life? May they even have death penalties? What are some of the, the punishments, the final punishments that perpetrators can have? What can they actually have at the end?
Madam Valerie, you can have imprisonment from 1 to 5 years, even up to 10 when you violate, as the penal code prescribes. Violence against women, not only against women, violence in general is punishable by the penal code. You can also be fined to pay a certain amount when you violate somebody, depending the gravity of the offense. Marianne?
Madam Marianne, could you
add
tell us
something?
more?
Yes, just to say that those punishments that she has enumerated go depending on the type of violence that a survivor has suffered. So if somebody has suffered, for example, like rape is rampant around the place, everywhere in our neighborhoods nowadays. The perpetrators can be charged and be put in prison. It is always good for us to name those aspects of violence. Sometimes we do them without knowing. Forcing a girl child to get married when she has not attained that age of maturity is a violence on that girl. and the perpetrator of that act is booked in law. Deserting a woman at home who is regularly married is an act of violence. Men will not know that, but the penal code penalizes that by section 358. So there are so many of those, just the aspect of receiving bribe receiving bride price. If it is excessive to an extent, they call it an abuse of bride price, and it is punishable by section 357 of the penal code by imprisonment and fine, as she has said. So it is always good that we should know those aspects of violence. There are so many of them.
So, what is the general, the overall goal of this particular project? Under the theme, Making Violence Against Women and Girls History in the Southwest and Northwest regions of Cameroon. What is your specific objective for this particular project?
First, Valerie, I would like to say that knowing that violence is very, very common nowadays, the first objective of this activity is to see that we increase public awareness by about 75 to 80% of the population within the Northwest and the Southwest regions, especially as we are going through the crisis. And secondly, we also want to sensitize women on their rights, their human rights, women and girls particularly, and to empower women on how to come out from the violence that they are being inflicted into. So we are also out to raise public awareness and to galvanize the community to have people to support us in this fight. Yes, and we want to, at the end of it, we would like Cameroon to have an enabling environment where violence against women and girls is ended.
Yes. So, Barrister Alice, could you, throw more light on the activities Fida will carry out to make sure that this goal is achieved?
Yes, Fida is going to organize awareness-raising campaigns on communication channels like we are doing presently. This will also include traditional and social meeting groups who enter the markets, who go to schools, motor parks, and churches to talk about the rights of the woman and the girl child. We will equally organize awareness campaigns to sensitize the public and victims on the forms and causes and the consequences of violence. We equally have flyers, we have banners or posters that will be posted on the streets to create that awareness that the women have their rights and they should do everything to fight
So we just want
for equality.
Okay, so I just want our viewers to know that Fida is not working alone. They have collaborators. Fida is working with UN Women, UN Trust Fund, Law Association for Widows, and for WECAM, which is Footsteps for Women and Children in Cameroon. Fida, in collaboration with the sponsors, are out to make sure that they end violence in women and girls, in the Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon. So, Barrister, could you tell us more about the results you expect at the end of this project? What are the results you wish to get at the end of this project?
Thank you, Valerie. We expect that individuals, institutions, and communities should be sensitized at the end of this project.
Okay.
And so we expect to also have partners to get into the fight so that we make it a history. We expect that survivors who have survivors from violence should speak out. We expect that the traditional rulers in their various localities and even religious personnel, religious leaders should take this fight forward, and we expect that at the end of it, even the men that we think that they are the ones propagating this violence against women should be friendly to our cause, so that we put it to an end.
To summarize, we expect a change of attitude from the community, from our traditional rulers, from the women themselves, and to tell the women not to stay quiet, not to because of money, because we have this law on legal aid, that is law number 2009/004 of 14th of April 2009, organizing legal aid. There are some conditions and principles to be followed, and if a woman applies for legal aid and she qualifies following the criteria, the state can assist her in lodging her complaint and following up her matter right to the end.
Yes, to add to it, Madam Valerie, it is what the end result of this is to see that violence comes to an end, that no woman stays behind with her complaint without coming out, since they know the law, and that the survivors, they should use the laws available to them to their advantage, and that to create awareness that the chiefs should use the human rights laws, the laws that are put in place to solve issues around their environment.
Barrister Alice, some women or victims might be out there right now who are undergoing violence, but they have a fear, they might have a fear that if we come, how are we going to be taken away from this violence? Because maybe after coming to Fida and Fida helps you, you get back to the society, you're still met with this particular scenario of the violence. So how do you actually help your victims get through? What are the different activities you impact them to make sure that by the time they are through with the programs in Fida, they come out stronger and better women and girls?
Yes, we know there are such people in society, people who always have that fear in them, but we just encourage them to try in their own little way to come out of such fears and labeling, because some of them are afraid of being labeled as stubborn women, or mostly in the local setups, our villages and all of that. We just encourage them to be a little bit bold. And since Fida is organizing workshops, campaigns, we encourage them to always attend. I'm sure attending such activities will always remind them of who they are, and Fida goes ahead to try to empower such women. Fida goes ahead to try to empower them in their own little way. By the time they come to Fida, they will get to know more of what Fida can do for them.
Okay. So we also like to tell our viewers that the barristers have been reaching out to victims, but still they are reaching out to even those who are witnesses to violence. If you have neighbors, if you have friends, if you have family members that are undergoing violence, you could still get to Fida and they are going to get to them. So what are the challenges you face when you have a case of violence, but maybe the victim is reluctant to make sure that justice is justice prevails or that everything is put into place? Barrister Lange, could you take us through?
Valerie, thank you. That question is really good. I didn't correct you from the beginning.
Okay.
I'm not a barrister.
Okay.
I'm a registry administrator, a court registry administrator by profession. I'm the Chief of Service for Judicial Affairs at the Procureur General's Office, that is the Attorney General of the Southwest Region. I would like to say that in answering to this question, women actually, we have a problem when we come, when we have to follow up survivors. And this problem comes from many angles. You will see a survivor that wants to stick, particularly from domestic violence, the one that does not want to leave the environment because she wants to keep her marriage. You see a survivor that thinks that culture demands that she was already bought off and she cannot leave where she is being violated. So we want to make it known to the public that Fida is here to educate women, and we operate a legal aid clinic which is 24 on 24 hours. So you can get us on 233-331-550. It's a desk line which you can get through and get to Fida. And when you get to us, we know that prosecuting a crime must be with the consent of the victim. We do our best because there is a referral pathway. We are in a referral pathway, and we have our line of activity which is legal proceedings. But we have other partners in the pathway that can best put the survivor in the position to understand what they are going into and how they can come out of it before we engage in the legal proceedings. So it is a string with many partners on the line, and so we expect that we do it gradually. It's not like because it is a crime that can be prosecuted, we just get to force the survivor to prosecute the victim and things, especially when it has to do with domestic and intimate partner violence. Yes, we handle it with care. And so there are other partners that have to take care of the counseling, putting the survivor into a stable state of mind, and then we proceed. Yes, we proceed with the legal process, and so we help in educating them. We put forward their complaints to the right quarters. We help them to assess the right quarters, depending on how the survivor comes in front to us. The state in which the survivor comes to our office will determine how we will proceed with the case. So if a survivor comes and it is not, she is not too battered, we proceed directly with the legal counseling and psychological. If the survivor is battered to an extent that we feel that they need health care, we direct them and enable them to reach out to where they can get their help. Okay. And so we have been partnering too with organizations and delegations that have homes to take away these survivors from risk areas to safe places, like the women's empowerment and the family delegation is having a safe home. Lukmep also in Boya is having a safe home where we have our own center in Bamenda where we can keep victims for a while looking forward to stabilize their situation.
Madam Valerie, to add a bit to what the question that was directed to Madam Mary Ann, the challenges that we face with survivors, one is that since our laws, our custom show that we embrace violence, especially domestic violence from women, we have taken it as a lifestyle in Cameroon. When you are beaten, the family takes it as if it is love. In some cultures, it is shown that it is love, so the husband has the right to beat the wife. So these challenges, we get it from survivors, from family members, neighbors, you see, and the other challenge, apart from them recognizing domestic violence as a lifestyle, you also have survivors who are not ready to report to the public or Fida and other people what they are going through for fear of family. The family prevents her from that. They should not expose the family. If you say it out, they will take your brother to court, your uncle can be charged for all those things. So those are the challenges that we face. Then you have the neighbors, they are afraid, even if they see how violence is being perpetrated to a neighbor, they will not want to come out for fear that the person can attack them and all those things. So, and again, the other challenge that we face, it is that at the police, state council, and other departments fighting for this violence against women, there is no desk to cater for this violence. There is no special, the police people, gendarmes are not being trained in a way to cater for violence in Cameroon. So those are some of the challenges we are facing. The neighbors, they are afraid, as earlier said. So we are saying to these people that they should not be afraid, because Fida has put in place a way to see how they will not be exposed if they come up to report violent cases against neighbors. Then the survivor will be protected, like Mary Ann has rightly said. Then that they should not listen to their family members when they say violence is a lifestyle. Beating a wife by a husband is a lifestyle. It is to show love. No, that is not it. So Fida is out to tell them that there are laws. They should not be afraid. Their phone numbers, you will not be exposed. You have, like she has cited the numbers. Those numbers are there for us to contact you. You can contact Fida. Using those numbers, you will not be exposed.
Okay. And Fida also has other channels of communication. You can get to Fida through the website www.fidacameroon.org, www.fidacameroon.org, or email. You can use Fida Cameroon. Fida is Fida, Fida. For email, fidacameroon2014@gmail.com. For email, fidacameroon2014@gmail.com. Also, you can access them, or you can get to them through Google Play Store. So you can get to them. They have an app which is Ops for Women. Ops for Women. You can get it on Google Play Store. That means you have so many channels to get through to Fida. You can also contact them through the numbers 233-331-550. 233-331-550, and whoever gets to you immediately will be able to take over your query to Fida, and they'll be able to deliberate on it and get you solutions. So we are going to take a break, and when we get back, we'll have some words from our panelists from Fida.
Thank you.
Welcome back, viewers. You're still on Cam 1 television, and right here I have people from Fida. So before we had a break, we were on channels through which you could get to Fida. We had the telephone number 233-331550, the website www.fida, which is FIDA, fidacameroon.org, or the email fidacameroon2014@gmail.com, or the Play Store apps, which is Apps for Women app, or you could go to their headquarters, which is at Mutengene, that's Tico Road, beside Liberal Law Firm, that's before the bridge. You could get there and they'll be able to help you. So before we go, could you, Barrister Amwam Gladys, could you give our viewers final word on Fida and the activities that are being carried out now?
The overall words that we can give to Fida, or Fida Cameroon, to the public, is that no woman should stay behind with her complaint for want of money, and that violence, we should join hands with the public to put an end to violence against women, that women have the laws that are protecting them, especially the legal aid laws and the other laws that we have mentioned, like the Maputo Protocol and the Bajun Law, Constitution, and the Preamble, Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Codes, and other laws, international conventions that are there to protect their rights. Let them not stay behind, because Fida is there to see them go through with their cases, to see that they are being catered for.
Barrister Alice, please could you give us last words?
Yes, I would like to encourage the women to come out of ignorance. Even the Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Let them come out and seek ways of empowering themselves, educating themselves, especially when it comes to there is economic violence, where a husband can refuse the wife from carrying out any trade and you are ignorant about it, that the law can protect you on that. It is said you cannot, some people have the concept that without, you cannot have human rights without economic empowerment. So at least the women will have their voices heard if they empower themselves.
So, Madame Liliane Lange, could you give us last words?
Thank you, Valerie. I will say that violence has never been the answer, and we should all join to stop violence against women and girls.
Thank you very much. Thank you, dear viewers. I'm still at on the Valerie Monono, and thank you for keeping watch to what Fida has today. We just want to remind you that Fida is out on a theme, making violence against women and girls history in the southwest and northwest regions of Cameroon. Stay tuned for more programs on Cam1 Television. Have a good day.